Good evening, friends. This is time for the trade wrap of 4th of March 2021. The markets have been greatly volatile and very difficult to trade and understand because they are tending to have opposite gaps on a daily basis. So let's first look at the S&P 500 because that is the driver of the entire global market chain. Now, if you see the S&P 500, we have a bit of a support here. And if you see today, S&P 500 was down like 30 points. And from the lows, this level has been rejected and it has gone up. Now, the popular theory is that it's because of the bond yield. I think bond yield is a reason, but the major reason for S&P 500 coming down is the nasdaq. If you see, nasdaq has broken 10, 20, 50 and is way below the 50 zone. Yes, these stocks are stratospheric in terms of valuation, and the market is adjusting to these higher rates. In my view, the nasdaq is also close to a bottom, and once nasdaq turns, the S&P 500 will also tend to fly. Bond yield basically is not going to come off a whole lot. What will happen is that the market will tend to adjust to the higher rates in terms of valuation. So this is something people should keep in mind. The S&P 500 is right now at its 50-day moving average. Now 50-day moving average is an institutional average. It holds great amount of importance for funds and institutions who want to buy into declines. So we are at a very key turning point in terms of the S&P 500. Now before we go further, let me request you to like, share, subscribe this video, and if you are interested in taking any of our services, platinum, gold, silver, diamond, copper, etc., please visit the YouTube channel, click join, and you'll get all the details. Uh, they have services across all sorts of time frames and swing, BTST index, day trading, portfolio, everything is there, and you are getting real time guidance in terms of what to do, not after the fact. So that's a big positive that we have there. For questions, WhatsApp 98710 or email ashwani_gujral at yahoo.com, or just go directly to the YouTube channel, click join, make the payment, and you're off and running. So having said all of this, let's go to the Nifty. The Nifty closed very strongly higher, about 345 points up, and it almost closed near the highs. Today in the morning, it opened gap down, but post the gap down opening, this is the 5-minute chart, we found support, and then the Nifty had a very strong upside rally and then closed somewhere in between. Now, if you see the Nifty on the daily, we are still at the 20-day moving average, whereas I've just shown you the S&P 500 is at its 50-day moving average. So the Nifty is clearly outperforming, and the only thing that's holding back the Nifty is the global markets, which are facing pressure of bond yield. And US markets are skewed by tech, like we are here skewed by the banks. So that way, my sense is that first of all, we have taken home long positions, 15,300 calls of next week, because in my view, unless 15,000 is taken out, the market is always ready to go up. Today was a good day to again have a 700-point fall. The factors were exactly the same. But as you can see, this bond yield is impacting us less and less as we go on. Last Friday, it impacted us 700 points. Today, we hardly lost 150 from the top. So that way, the markets here at least have adjusted to this sort of global bad news. And plus, broader markets are doing extremely well. So the market generally tends to find support at the lows. My sense is India could be one of the first markets to hit new highs, and this is a time to stay long unless bond yield goes crazy like 1.7, 1.8. I think you will have a very positive session tomorrow and for other global markets also, because the nasdaq is beginning to turn. The kind of hammering it's had 3 consecutive weeks of downside. So this correction is being blamed on bond yield, but it would have happened anyway. So let's look at the pivots and what they have to say for tomorrow. The Nifty pivot is at about 15,087, say 15,090. Broadly above this level, we should remain positive. Look for a target of 15,310. Now let's go to the Bank Nifty. Okay, Nifty Bank, what we can see here is that on a 15-minute chart, the Bank Nifty is finding support at this 35,500 zone. And if you bought here, you got a very nice rally in the morning, which we caught. And then at this, 36, 200, 300 zone, 36,200 kind of zone, we got off at about 36,000, because above that it was treacherous. So that worked out well. In terms of the next level here, I think the Bank Nifty also finally will move to 37,000. So any sort of decline you get should be used to buy into Bank Nifty. If we start to cross this level of about 36, 300, 400, I think the Bank Nifty could also have upside. It's also suffered because of the bond yield. So once the bond yield goes into the background, chances are Bank Nifty will also come back strongly. Both Nasdaq and Bank Nifty are these highly weighted sectors where you have seen pressure in terms of consolidation. If you see otherwise, I think Bank Nifty still gives you a very nice pattern. It's a kind of a sideways pattern, consolidation, and finally we could go through this trend line and move on the upside. So the correction has not been significant. That is the most important point. On the pivot side, Bank Nifty above this 35,880, 35,900 becomes positive for tomorrow. And if it gets positive, I think on a good day, Bank Nifty should do 36,700. So basically, Today, by the close, I think Nifty closed at about 15,100 thereabouts. Again, you will get a gap up, and what you need to do is, if you are not long, look for today's high on the Nifty. If today's high starts to get crossed, which is about 15,200, we are going to open fairly close to this. Only then you should try to get long. And similarly, on the short side, if you start to break this 15,050 type of zone, you can attempt an intraday short side position. But overall, as long as 15,000 is held on, you want to take long positions only. And today is a very crucial day on the S&P 500 and nasdaq. If they start to turn, I think in 2 or 3 sessions you will get to new highs. So that should be it for the moment. Take care, trade well, and please consult your financial advisor.